Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Super Turbo 64, the podcast in which two friends talk about the fine art of video games. I am Jason Vandervoort, and I am joined by...
Jeff Ross, that's me.
That is Jeff. And in a Super Turbo 64 first, we have a third guest. We have a new challenger. Sean, would you care to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Sean Biskey.
Yeah. So, Sean is a friend of ours that Jeff and I have known for, probably 15-ish years, I'd say. You know, we've known each other for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We used to, hang out at plays when we were back in school, doing theater stuff. And,
Yep. We were all theater kids.
That's right.
Yeah. And yeah, Sean still is heavily involved in theater to this day. We have a local community theater that he is a fixture of. Almost tries to get an appearance in just about every show. He's very much involved.
I mean, every show is a bit of a stretch, but I try to do a show a year at least.
Right. No, I know there was recently where you were, trying to do a whole bunch of them.
Oh, yeah. There was one where I tried to do all of their shows in a year.
Yeah.
It was close.
It was close, yeah. How many did you miss?
One. Just
one.
the one?
Mm-hmm. Bummer. You were so close to a record. So close to greatness.
Well,
now
so close
you'll never
means
live
it
it down.
didn't happen.
Yeah. All right. So, as usual, we're going to kind of just cycle through things and just kind of talk about what we're playing right now. Jeff, let's start with you. What you been playing?
Yeah, I just finished Doom Eternal the other day.
Nice.
I played Doom 2016 when Doom Eternal came out, and I ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I'm like, alright, I'll go in and buy the next game, and play through that one, and it was pretty fun. It was more difficult for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I keep hearing.
Yeah, it certainly leaves you with a bit of a challenge. I found that, you get better as you go along. I suppose that happens in most games, but this time I started another file on the next difficulty up just to try and keep going at it, because it's not like the longest game, but it's something that I wanted to keep playing, so...
Right. Most shooters aren't super horribly long, like 10, 15 hours, maybe.
Something like
That's
that.
a pretty long campaign, honestly, for most shooters. I'd
Right,
say,
yeah.
Closer to 8 to 10 hours.
That's fair. Yeah, I know like the COD shooters, those usually run pretty lean and mean.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How about you, Sean?
I've also been...
Oh, go for it, Jeff. My bad.
No problem. I've also been playing some Animal Crossing, of course, still going at that, and restarted Mario Maker 2, with the new update that came out.
Right, they added that update where you can, where you actually are able to build full worlds.
That's right.
Have you started making a world yet?
I have not made a world, but I've played a couple.
Okay. You kind of going through ideas of what a Jeff world might be?
It's it seems like a big project. I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually build my own. I just like the fact that I can play other people's and have a little bit more Super Mario World nostalgia going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it definitely uses that art style.
Oh, for the world design?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
So yeah, Sean, what have you been playing lately?
Well, I'm super big into JRPGs, so let's see. Not too long ago, I finished Persona 5 Royal.
Nice.
Which was so great. Definitely the definitive way to play Persona 5 now.
Right, absolutely.
Recently finished Trials of Mana that just came out as well. Phenomenal remake. I would say the first good remake in a long time, but Final Fantasy VII's remake came out too, and a lot of people seem to like that.
Yeah, I've been hearing a bunch of friends talking about it.
Though, so.
Right. I've never played any of the Mana games, but I've always just kind of been aware of them. So it's been kind of something that I've considered, and but like between the remake of Mana and also the remake of Final Fantasy VII, it's just I have no idea what to explore next when it comes to JRPGs, and I'm still going through Persona 5 Royal myself. I'm really not that far, but I've just been taking it so slow, and just I don't know, been caught up with some other games as well.
It's good to take your time.
Exactly.
I mean, as long as you enjoy the experience, that's what matters.
Right. And you just started Trails of Cold Steel.
Absolutely, I did. I haven't gotten too far in order to really delve into how much I enjoy it just yet, but so far I've been having fun just wandering around, beating stuff up. So
Yeah. I'm very
used to the
excited
battle
for this journey
system.
that you're on.
It's quite fun so far.
Yeah, the
forward
PlayStation
to
is
getting
having
to know
their
all the
Big in
characters.
Japan sale currently, and both Sean and I, we suffered heavy losses from the
Big
Big in
sucker.
Japan sale.
I am such a fool.
Whereas Jeff's just kind of sitting back like, yeah, you guys can just wallow in it. Bunch of
Hoarding my
weebs.
wealth like a dragon right now, you know.
Yeah.
Just looking at these Japanese games and saying, no, you cannot have any, not a coin.
Not 1 red cent.
Yeah. So, Jason, what have you been playing lately?
Yeah, so I have also been playing Animal Crossing. Actually, just over the weekend, I unlocked the terraforming aspect of the game. So it's like, yeah, so kind of depending on who you ask, I've either beaten the game or I've beaten the tutorial of the game. It's I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell which is which. Because I mean,
Call that a 2-week-long tutorial.
yeah, basically.
Or a month, really.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, when I think I looked at my playtime of it fairly recently. I think like 65 or 70 hours is where I'm at, and I mean, Techie, she's been playing it quite a bit as well. So like between the two of us, you know, we've put quite a bit of time into it, and it's like, you know, when you know, you unlock the terraforming after your island gets a 3-star rating, and then they convince KK Slider to come over and do a concert. And kind of like classic Animal Crossing fashion, when KK does a concert and you listen, the credits roll. Because it's like, you know, it's Animal Crossing games aren't necessarily ones that have a defined endpoint, so they need to find a way to put their credits somewhere. And so they just kind of did it with KK Slider. So, like, I mean, I've seen the credits of the game, and I've, you know, kind of experienced all of what you'd basically consider the main story to be. So, I don't know. Maybe this is the post game, or who knows? Maybe it's
I would
just
say
the.
you're in the end game now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Much like Tony Stark.
Exactly. Yeah. No. This does feel more end gamey, I suppose.
That's right.
Yeah, especially because like about half of my villagers turned to dust recently. I would definitely say I'm in the end game. Like, yeah.
About half.
Yeah, about half. Yeah, I was just randomly talking to one of my villagers, and they were just about to give me a piece of furniture, and then, poof.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Jason.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, no.
They give you their little catchphrase first, and
Yeah, right?
it's kind of...
I don't feel very
Yeah.
good, Waddler.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, outside of Animal Crossing, I finally finally found a visual novel that I've gotten to be able to enjoy. It's called World End Syndrome, and I mean, I've always been kind of fascinated by visual novels, but I just really hadn't found the one that really clicked with me. But I've been having a lot of fun with this one. You you play as a kid who has come to this kind of remote seaside town, and he's like kind of grieving the loss of his sister and whatnot, and he's just like trying to coast, you know, through this summer. He just really has no direction, and he meets like this group of people who are like investigating local legends and whatnot, and he just kind of falls in with them because he really doesn't have much else to do. And so then you just go through this, basically these couple of months that he's on, like throughout the summer, and you're basically trying to kind of solve essentially a mystery together. And, you know, you've got those elements of, like, bonding with various members of the cast, and there's a bunch of different endings that you can unlock. I've seen 2 endings so far, and I have no idea how many there are, but I don't know. It's a really interesting feedback loop that these visual novels do. So I've never really played anything like it before, so I'm very fascinated by it.
You know, and Sean once likened Persona to having that bit of a visual novel style to it as well. That's about the closest I've ever gotten to it. But Sean, you played a few visual novels, right?
To have something that's so compelling in them. That's why I enjoy playing ones like Phoenix Wright, which has the whole trial and presenting evidence one, or the Danganronpa games, which has the whole class trial aspect. Then you also have the Utawari Rumono games, which have a turn-based strategy aspect. And then you got Persona 5, which is a turn-based RPG.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It had kind of been like that, I had really kind of like digging into Persona, like when I first started loving it, and I had heard some people kind of liken it to like having visual novel qualities, and that kind of started getting me remotely interested into the genre, but I hadn't yet found a game that really kind of like clicked with me the way Persona did. And I know it's kind of like an apples to oranges thing in a way, but I still was really excited to start exploring the genre. And World End is like kind of the first example of a visual novel that I've found that, makes me really kind of interested and actively engaged. I mentioned that Big in Japan sale that Sean and I both recently experienced. And like I bought a couple of those visual novels that he actually just mentioned. I got Danganronpa and the other one, whose name I'm not going to pronounce because I will butcher it.
It's so hard. It's the only... they say it so quickly because they have Japanese voices and they say it so quick, and I could not possibly hope to ever speak in such a manner.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, picked up Danganronpa and that other one that Sean mentioned. So yeah, it'll be I'm interested to see, like, after World End Syndrome is kind of finished, to see, I don't know, where the genre takes me after that.
And there's another game that we've all been playing together recently, and that's Overwatch.
Mm-hmm. That is,
Smash Brothers.
Overwatch is the big one.
Yeah, Smash Brothers. It's the Smash Bros of shooters,
That's actually not horribly inaccurate.
They both have a Donkey Kong. That's
they do.
What matters.
Yeah, every good game needs one. But yeah, that is the topic for this week's episode. Is the three of us. We play a whole ton of Overwatch together, so it's like kind of with the thing with the with us each kind of recording from our own home. It's what's nice is the fact that we're able to include other people because then we don't have to worry about the mic setup. So that's why we were able to kind of get in touch with Sean, see if he wanted to do an episode with us, and what better game for the three of us to talk about than Overwatch, which is the game like the three of us have probably collectively together have put the most time into.
As a collective, that's got to be it,
Yeah. It would either be Overwatch or Smash Bros,
I'd say in-person Smash Brothers, but online Overwatch.
Yeah,
that's right.
That feels accurate. But yeah, I don't know where to start with Overwatch. Like it's
we play it.
We do. Yeah, we play
Start with the beginning, huh?
Exactly. Yeah.
Came out in 2017. Is that right?
That sounds about right.
Gosh.
It's time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Look it up quick.
Time flies when you're escorting payloads.
Yeah.
It's like while you look that up, Jeff, I'll keep people amused.
Oh my gosh, it came out in 2016.
Damn it, I was going to keep people amused.
Just a Google search, man. It takes 5 seconds.
That's fair. But 2016, that is a really long time ago.
4 years ago now.
Yeah. I can't think of many games that we've been able to keep engaged with it for that long a period of time.
Right.
Like Overwatch is just kind of, it's found itself as kind of that staple game for the three of us to play. Like, if we just kind of want to, like, chat and play games for a couple of hours, you know, it's just like Overwatch is what we lean on.
It's a very flexible shooter.
Yeah.
That's right. You have the option to play competitively, but it's also got some casual gameplay modes that, and we definitely take part in the casual side of the game.
Right. We tried briefly to be competitive, but didn't really quite work in our favor.
Actually, quite the successful competitive player.
Oh.
I'm a diamond level in Lucio Ball.
Well, me and Sean, we are diamond level Lucio Ball.
Yeah,
If you
right.
want to
Yeah,
include
so
yourself, that's fine. I mean, if you
I
want to talk
do.
about how you
I really
rode on
do.
my coattails, I mean, that's cool.
Everyone
It's not
needs
true.
a good goalie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, and I was not a good goalie. So
Neither was I.
Thank
Oh my
you.
god.
It takes practice.
Yeah,
And
this.
you know what? I'm not either. So we just relied on our rando.
Yeah, exactly.
that frequently ended very poorly, but
Right.
you know, you
Or
do
on
what you
the
can.
rare occasion that I joined you guys for Lucio Ball, which was
That's
not all the
right.
time.
Yeah, it's. I remember being like, for me, the game came out of nowhere. I didn't know it was really a thing until it came out, and
Yeah.
then like just it looked super fun, and I ended up going to a cabin for a week, the launch week it came out, and I like spent too much of my time just watching people play it on the internet. Like, oh, I gotta get this game.
Right.
You know, this seems so cool.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a similar thing for me. Like, I really didn't know much about it, and you know, I've never really kind of kept my eye on that style of shooter. And when it was coming out, my pal Cody showed it to me, and so he showed me Overwatch and Battleborn at around the same time. And so there was a brief moment where I was just like, I was not sure which game was which. And there was also that period of time where they had essentially melded into the same game for me. And, but yeah, like, once I had my PS4, it really did not take me very long to pick up Overwatch. And, yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with the game. Like, there's something about its mechanics are just so fundamentally sound that it's just, I don't know, it just is a joy to play.
The game is one of the most polished games I've played, I think,
Yeah.
and, you know, it's just, in terms of animations and sound design and, like, just the whole design of the stages, you end up with this, like, beautiful game, but it's also pretty balanced, and they also make sure to update it over time.
Constantly updated, which is one of the things that really, I think, helps keep it alive even now.
Right. Yeah.
For sure.
They've,
Those seasonal events, you know.
Right. And the seasonal events, that's so nice. Like, we can have not played it for a couple of like a month or so, and then it'll be like, hey, this event is coming back. Do you want
Halloween
to?
event brought us back in multiple times.
Exactly. Yeah, like, I mean, you just try keeping us away from Overwatch during the Halloween event. You know, it just, like, we're gonna be there. Yeah, and it's just, and with the balancing, it's just like, and like the like characters have gotten redesigns, and there's new characters constantly being added, new maps, new game modes. It's just like you can come back to Overwatch after a while, and granted, it doesn't feel like a different game, but it's just there's enough different that keeps you continually engaged.
Oh yeah.
And like,
Absolutely.
and those balance changes can, after a while, they can make it so that even low skill chumps like us can play Overwatch.
Oh, especially low skill chumps like us.
That, you know, that's something that we deal with once in a while is people that message us or talk to us, and that's basically why competitive failed for us.
Yeah.
If you want to be successful at competitive, you have to communicate with your team. And if
Right.
you have to communicate with your team, you have to have extremely high tolerance for douchebags.
Which I do not.
Yeah, it's no fun. So no, just the other day I was playing the illustrious Bastion character.
He's super hard to play.
And some rando messaged me that I was low-skilled, bottom-feeding trash. No, chump. I
Yeah.
was a low-skilled,
Yes.
bottom-feeding chump.
Probably meant to say trash.
That could
Then
be.
he called me something trash afterward as well.
Oh, okay, so he didn't
was
mean
like-
to say trash.
It was fun because you just there's a little bit of extra spice of flavoring added to your Overwatch meal when you know that someone else is salty because you did something easy.
Right.
I mean, if it was a teammate, it's less fun. But since it was an opponent who was very upset that you were destroying them,
Right.
It's
fun.
It's ideal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
good
just,
time.
I can understand the appeal.
Means you're doing things right.
Right, exactly. So, as you can imagine, I have not received such messages because,
You gotta play Bastion.
right, yeah, you really don't get messaged that much when you pretty much always play healer.
When you play support and tanks, yeah, it's just not common.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
No one pays attention to you, which I like.
I'll take it.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, so. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Well, yeah, we did dabble in the competitive scene, and the three of us, participated in a small competitive tournament in northern Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. And it was a unique tournament too because like you would imagine that most like an Overwatch tournament would be like 6-on-6 doing the standard game modes, but this tournament was using the 3v3 elimination mode, which like it just so happened that that was already a mode that the three of us were playing and enjoying.
There are 3 friends here.
Yeah, exactly.
We can
and so,
do that.
Right. And so leading up to the tournament, like when we found out about it, oh my god, I think we were exclusively
practiced every
playing
day.
elims for I have no idea how long.
Every day up until the tournament.
Basically.
We rarely took breaks.
Right. I cannot think of a time where like I trained harder for a tournament, I think.
And it paid off. We won a couple rounds, and that's fun to win.
Yeah, we made it to the
We-
semis or something, right?
No,
I don't
we
know
didn't
about
make it to
that,
the
but
semis. I think we
yeah.
won like two matches and then we got knocked out. There was quite a few teams that entered. And we did better than we were expecting. I think we were expecting to lose like immediately. So.
Right.
Right.
And we pulled a couple good round wins out of our butts, which was really nice.
Right.
Absolutely.
And what was funny is like I feel like to a certain extent we became like a crowd favorite / underdog.
Thanks to our team name.
Exactly, yeah. We when we found out that we had to, come up with a name for our team, we didn't have an awful lot of time, so we decided to call ourselves Satan's Golf Buddies. And it's really fun to hear someone announce your team over the PA system when you're called Satan's Golf Buddies. Because then you get to see basically like everyone like kind of look up, recollect what they just heard, and then to start looking around to say like, who are the people who have that name?
Us,
You know,
the
I
complete
think-
hams over here.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're selling it short, Jason. I think it's a fantastic name.
Oh
It's
yeah, no,
something that we-
I absolutely love it. Like, I would yeah, if there was another opportunity to do an Overwatch tournament, yeah, Satan's Golf Buddies
Oh,
would be out of
absolutely.
retirement tomorrow.
We also had pretty silly like
Team compositions.
team composition names and
Yes.
compositions in general. Yeah,
Right, and that was
We
I
had to play
feel like
to our
that helped
strengths,
us a
and they
lot.
were not conventional.
Right.
not conventional strengths. Perhaps teamwork was our greatest strength.
Exactly. Teamwork and friendship.
And that's why we lost.
Yeah!
But yeah, like, when you're playing Elim, you know, you have, like, a relatively short amount of time to kind of pick your next character, you know, just so that they keep the action moving fairly quickly, especially because it uses a round structure. And so we tried to kind of circumvent that by, you know, going into it, we had, I don't know, maybe say 5-6 teams.
I want to say 5 or 6 set team compositions
Yeah.
that we had, and none of the characters were reused, so that way we could go through multiple rounds.
Different iterations, yep.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So then
And
that was nice.
way we could switch something up if we lost the first round, because if you go into the second round picking the same composition, you could expect to get countered. So you have
Absolutely.
to determine whether or not that risk is worth it.
Right.
Usually
Right.
not. So we
Right.
created, I think it was 5-6 teams.
You know, oh my gosh, I wish I should have thought of this before. I found the sheets that I was writing down our team compositions
Oh
from
my goodness.
years ago.
Did you
know.
really? I was, like, I tried thinking about those names earlier. The only one that I could remember was Satan's Harem. There's a lot of
Satan's
Satan
Harem
imagery,
was-
apparently, in our team
Yeah.
naming, but...
We happen to be satanic, okay? Is that a big deal to you? The Satan's Harem was Zarya, May, and Symmetra.
Nice.
It was.
So that was a fun time. We had like Big Pharma was Roadhog and Pharaoh and Mercy.
I forgot about Big Pharma.
Big Pharma was fantastic.
No, so, and we had a couple of...
We won constantly with Big Pharma. That was like one of the ones we'd bust out if we felt like winning a round.
Right. Just like, yeah, start off strong. And we had a couple of inversions to Big Pharma, and I think it largely focused on if we had Roadhog with us or not. I think there was
Right, there was a Reaper version
Yeah.
instead of Roadhog.
and I wish I remembered what the name was for that.
Some other pharmacy variation, but
Exactly.
then there was like the tank squad or the turtle, something turtled up
Yeah, Team Turtle.
with Team Turtle. There we
Team
go.
Turtle was correct, yes.
Now,
That
okay,
was Orisa, Anna, and Torbjorn, if I remember right.
nice.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah, and so it was just so fun. Like it felt very legit, you know, and because the setup that they gave us was really legit too. Like it was to use the phrase esports, like it had a very esports looking setup. You know, and so
Yeah.
we were able to we each, you know, had our own TV with our own like nice headsets and whatnot. And so the three of us, you know, as we were going, you know, we were able to really like in a rounds we could like, all right, let's switch this up to Team Turtle. And so like by having all of these team compositions and just the setup, it felt so legit, you know? And it was just
It was a good time.
yeah, it was a ton of fun.
Absolutely.
That
And-
tournament, we also played some other games at that tournament. The three of us, we
Yes.
had Street Fighter 5 and Super Smash Bros.
Yep.
Yeah. 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The days before Ultimate, and yeah, I think that Street Fighter 5 tournament, that was really one of the first Street Fighter. I think that was the first Street Fighter tournament that I want to say that the three of us, you know, actually participated in together.
Yeah, and Jason got second place.
I
If
did.
I remember correctly.
Yes, I did. It was
That
just
was cool.
yeah. I don't remember who was the final person that I went up against, but it was
Was it another Bison?
I was another Bison or gosh. I remember like the main player that I remember going up against was a Cammy player. And because I historically struggle with the Cammy matchup, it's just really difficult for me.
A lot of people did around that time. Since
Yeah.
he was the strongest character.
That's fair, yeah, because that was early on in Street Fighter V's life cycle, and yeah, Cammy was, as you said, very, very strong back then. But yeah, but it was still
Yeah.
like really great tournament, and then we also, like you said, we got to do Smash Bros. 4, which And that was, like,
We all lost to a child.
we did.
This, this
A child who played
actual
Ganondorf.
Ganondorf
Yeah.
and annihilated us.
Yeah,
You know,
Well,
it was,
I didn't get
for
to be
me, it
part
was
of that,
like-
but
right.
Oh, sure.
I got taken out earlier than that. So
We had, it was a different tournament because it started off with a free-for-all for, you know, it would have 4 people in a match, and then whoever won would go on to the singles matches.
Right.
And so I lost my first singles match to that kid who ended up winning the whole tournament as Ganondorf, winning a Switch. He was probably
Ganondorf.
like 11 years old. It was crazy. The kid was a wonderkind.
Yeah. I wonder if they still play Ganondorf to this day.
I hope so.
You know?
Yeah.
Didn't his brother was also in it, and that's when he switched to like a more professional character. Like,
I think he still schooled him with Ganondorf.
okay,
Right.
Yeah.
Finals. The finals were him and his brother.
Nice. Fantastic.
So, well, no, it was a good time. We ended up trying to go back to that tournament a couple years later, last year, and
Yeah.
it ended up being a complete failure. That more people went to that tournament than I think they expected. I
Right.
guess,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah. It became the venue and tournament since has become just, you know, way more successful, which, you know, really good for them. But like the venue, it just really straight up can't accommodate it anymore.
right.
So
But
missed
yeah.
out on that. But we still gave us, you know, I don't know, like that particular tournament is just filled with extremely fond memories, and many of them center on Overwatch.
That's right. What do you think keeps you coming back to Overwatch? Is it that evergreen thing that it's like? Is it the fact that other people play it, or is it that it's being updated, or what do you think?
Well, for me, anyways, it's a game that we've been playing very frequently. We all have it. At the same time, it's very easy to just pick it up and play it. We're familiar with the game enough, and you don't have to play it that much to really know what's going on. And there are plenty of characters that you can play that even if you're not good at shooting, you can be good at Overwatch.
That's right. Reinhardt, looking at you, my friend.
Yeah.
You got Reinhardt, you got Mercy, and yeah, there are Mercies who, of course, will use their gun from time to time, but it's not often a necessity.
Yeah, it's uncommon.
So you got Mercy, you got that. You got Moira. You really don't need to aim with Moira.
I feel like with Winston, you're pretty much in the same boat. You can just hold R2. Brigette's in the same boat as well.
Yeah,
So
It was
It's one of
funny
the
the
nice
other
things.
night. Yeah, the other day, I was complaining, don't you hate about just getting R2 to death by... I was talking about Moira. Then the play of the game was me holding R2 as Brigette's. And, you know, Jason called me out. It was suitable.
Bringing it back.
It was
Yeah.
it was a beautiful situation. Yeah, I think what keeps me coming back, I mean, there's definitely that element of, you know, like it's the game, like Sean said, it's a game that all three of us have, which surprisingly there aren't an awful lot of those. You know, even though the three of us basically we all have the same systems, but as for the same games, especially multiplayer games that the three of us can play together, that list in itself is fairly short in comparison.
Aside from fighting games, we have very little in common in that regard.
Right. And so, you know, having Overwatch, you know, there is just this really nice kind of foundation. And because of Overwatch's continual evolution over the years, it continues to be fresh enough that, you know, yeah, that we can go back to it after, you know, maybe not having played it for a couple of months. And there's something new for us to experience, which keeps the game very much energized. And there's
Absolutely.
so much variety in between the characters, like you guys were describing, that like you can be playing Overwatch and you'll be like, yeah, I've been playing healer for a little while, and then if you want to play DPS or a tank, your role within the match can change just dramatically. And so then that in itself will also keep invigorating you to play the game for longer. And it's like, it is very, very common for the three of us to be playing it, and for me to like look at my phone or my watch and I'll be like, Jesus, where did these 4 hours go?
Oh my god, no kidding.
And it's like, something about it is just like really that one more game mentality, you know?
Yeah.
Like games
It's
are
definitely got a gameplay loop to it.
exactly like the games are short enough that, you know, you're able to just like get right back into it, you know, without really much thought. And I know it's a little different for competitive because it focuses on some more set play aspects.
Right.
But
Matches can actually take quite some time in competitive depending on the match.
right.
Right.
But and then
How do you
there's
think
even
it
just like
compares
the
to Go ahead, Jace. Finish your thought.
I was just saying, like, and there's also just like the gameplay modes that aren't always there. You know, like they'll have those like those missions where it's kind of like a tower defense sort of mechanic, or you know, something that is, you know, pretty different from its standard fare, and it's like they kind of tie it into some sort of storyline that the game is doing. And it's interesting because like Overwatch doesn't necessarily have a story mode, or at least it doesn't yet, but there's so much storytelling that is going on in and around the game, and plus like the digital shorts that you can watch like on YouTube. So like there's storytelling and lore that is everywhere around Overwatch. And so like it's a really interesting way to keep your player base engaged first, like for a game that might not necessarily keep them like emotionally attached to the characters, I suppose. Like they find ways to get you attached to them.
That's right. Those they've got comic books, they've got the shorts, they've got the storytelling videos as well, where it's just more direct narration.
Right.
And now they're coming out with Overwatch 2 in it was supposed to be this year, I thought, but you know, with COVID-19, everything in Earth has been delayed for another year or so.
Basically, yeah.
So with Overwatch 2, are you guys looking forward to it? Do you plan on playing the story mode?
Yeah, I do. You know, I would definitely say, you know, I'm invested enough, like, in Overwatch, like, in its story and the lore that it's trying to give us. And, like, I kind of have this feeling of just, like, we've put so many hours into the game, and the fact that the developers are trying to give us something, fairly radically different. I mean, it's, I admit that it's got me to be pretty intrigued as to what it might be. And also just like, how do you transfer Overwatch's like gameplay cycles into a single player thing?
Yeah, I really am curious about that. How are they going to manage the different characters, and how, like, is it going to be just like the PvE but for 10 hours or what? How about you, Sean? Do you plan on playing Overwatch 2?
I'm definitely interested. I probably will sit on it for release until I know more about it.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is always wise, you know. Wait until those reviews come in, or until people have something to complain about or not.
Right. Well, I mean, considering I make plenty of bad decisions when it comes to RPGs, every once in a while I have to sit on my hands. So
Right.
You know, not a bad idea.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we've all kind of jumped into a game, probably a little bit too early, you know, before kind of letting people say like, hey, you know, this may not necessarily be all that it's cracked up to be.
Right. Sometimes that happens hilariously late after the game comes out. And I'm looking at you, Jeff, for buying Battlefront 2 2019 or whatever it came out.
Well, I mean, they changed quite a bit of that.
They changed it. They updated it, and it was still Battlefront 2 at the end of the day.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I like the story and the universe of Overwatch enough that I'm gonna want to play Overwatch 2, and
right.
I hope that they have some sort of, like, expansion for Overwatch, or instead of just having to buy, like, a $60 story mode or something like that, but...
I'm fairly sure that's what it is. I think, like, people can buy an Overwatch 2 game, and then they're able to, and it basically is just like, the new stuff plus everything prior. Or if you have Overwatch, it might just be kind of an expansion. At least that's what I've heard. It's you won't really know until the thing comes out.
I suppose. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, like, I feel like there are certain characters in the game that if I'm thinking this especially about, like, Genji, if you played, like, a ninja shooting game as Genji, it seems like it would be a fun game, I just like the mechanics of that particular character enough that you could probably make a decent campaign out of it, but then you also have the other, like, 28 different characters to pick from, and you can make, like, I feel like there's a lot to be gained out of a game where you could turn into a little turret or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
So, seeing these characters in a one player situation is going to be pretty intriguing to me, at least.
Yeah. Not every character I don't think is going to be able to make the transition to a single player thing that well. Like, I can't imagine how they'd be able to make something super engaging for, I say, a majority of the healers or tanks,
Right.
Just because, so much of their kit is, they are support, and
yeah.
By nature, they won't be able to... I can't see them being able to create a real leading role sort of situation to them. You could... like, if you were playing as Baptiste, would you have to be just guarding a bunch of people as they're trying to fix, I don't know, a broken thing in the game? Like, there's a lot of story stuff and ways where they've got various characters who are part of, say, the Talon organization. And so you could have a few things where they've got covert ops between several of these Overwatch characters, and maybe you could pick which one you want to play as for different perspectives. So I could see there being things like that, but I definitely feel like some characters are going to have an easier job than others of getting adapted.
Yeah. For sure.
But I'm still just going to be, I'm still always basically interested in seeing when the developer, especially when they've got something that is known to work and they still want to try something very different. I always got to give people credit for that and, respecting the try.
That's right. Overwatch has changed a little bit, but this is definitely its most dramatic change, the introduction of a story mode.
Yeah. Yeah, which makes me all the more excited to kind of just be still playing the game after 4 years now.
Right. Man, time flies.
It really does. It's just...
Oh, yes.
Oi. And when all's said and done, probably after we're done recording, we might play some more Overwatch.
I'm down.
I'm
can't
down.
talk about it this long and not play it a little bit.
It's just like talking about Smash. You can't not play Smash Brothers afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
So. And let's talk about Smash Bros. For a little bit, because we've got time. This I think I joked earlier that Overwatch is the Smash Bros of shooters. Smash Bros is the Overwatch of fighting games.
That's really funny I just earlier today, I was thinking to myself about the possibility of an Overwatch character being in Smash Brothers.
You know, it's theoretically possible. They do have Overwatch on the Switch now.
It is.
It's really hard to say that it's impossible when you see characters that, like, Snake get in. You would have never expected to see Sonic get in, until he got bought.
Right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have
Right.
expected to see 10 Fire Emblem characters in the game, but here we are.
Here we are.
I think that maybe the first 4 were unexpected.
Right. The final 6
after a
were just
while,
like,
it's-
please, stop.
No more.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a bummer because Byleth, the newest Fire Emblem character added to Smash, is probably the most unique Fire Emblem character they've added. And
I don't know. Robin and
Robin's
Corrin
pretty
are
different,
also quite
yeah.
different.
I suppose. But it's like,
But
by now,
It's
people are
hard
so
to
fed
break
up with
away
them.
from the sorties, right?
Right, exactly. But by now, there's so many Fire Emblem characters that just people were just enough. Especially since you
people
have
make
that
jokes
against the
about it
backdrop
way
of
too
all of
much.
the other really, really good characters that have come out. Like, this season pass has been so fantastic.
True.
That's right. The season pass inspired me to try Persona 5, which ended up being a great choice. Everybody was stoked about Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was.
I mean, hey, Banjo got in. We got Terry Bogard from King of Fighters. I mean,
So pumped about that.
when Snake from Metal Gear got in, come on, like, would anybody have been actually expecting that back in Brawl when they were
No,
announcing
no,
new
that was-
characters?
That was a
Nobody
shock.
saw that coming.
Right. And then, like, probably after Snake and Sonic, seeing Cloud is really wild.
Yeah.
Someone who is basically, an icon of basically the PlayStation, being on the Nintendo. That's even wilder
An icon
still.
of the PlayStation and an icon of the genre that's probably the farthest from the fighting game genre, the JRPG.
Yeah.
Maybe you could say that, but it's just the fact that it's all tactical and story based versus like action and non-story is my point. But Cloud made it, and they did a good job with him. I think.
yeah. Depends on who you ask, right?
Yeah, I suppose. I just realized while I was saying that, I'm like, I never played Final Fantasy VII. That's like one of my greatest gaming sins is that I've never played that game.
If it helps, I
guess
never finished it myself.
Yeah, me either.
Okay.
You're among friends,
So
Jeff.
we're all sinners here.
Yeah. And I mean, with the way the remake being out and the way they're creating Final Fantasy VII moving forward, now is probably your best time to play it because, I mean, some of the older Final Fantasies have not aged super well, mechanically.
Oh no, it hasn't. No.
You just when you look
No,
at the character models for Final Fantasy VII, it's just they all just look
Them polygons, though.
yeah, they just look weird. Whereas I've always kind of been curious about it. Like on the N64, they had the polygon characters, but Mario and Link still have this really big sense of identity. Like they still look like them, but like Cloud looks really weird.
Okay. Yeah. Smash Bros. Is another game that you can just sink a million hours into, and you never get tired of it. It's,
Absolutely.
I feel like I've been playing the same game since N64 days.
Right.
I was, sitting there in 1997 or 8 playing Smash Bros. And being like, this is fun. And now I'm still sitting here playing Ultimate thinking, this is fun.
It's just
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. When you're able to give your game just this sense of incredible longevity, that people are going to be in it for the long haul. But yeah, I reckon that's probably a fairly good place for us to wrap up this week's episode.
All right.
Yeah, Sean, I want to thank you for joining us in this unprecedented opportunity.
Oh yes, thank you for
I
having me.
really appreciate you joining us, Sean. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Good time.
All right.
So,
Well,
yeah,
we'll see you next time.
Exactly, yeah. Hope everyone is still kind of staying safe out there, and we'll see you in a few weeks' time. See you later, everybody.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.